Welcome to Old Roommates. It's time for another episode. Today on the show, we revisit Escape to Witch Mountain from 1975. So grab your Starcase purse and listen in.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. I'm Brian.
I'm Christina. Welcome.
Today we are talking about Escape to Witch Mountain, 1975 film. We already have issues, it seems, because the title is just throwing us.
It's very confusing. It's Escape to, which is grammatically, I feel like, incorrect. It should be escaping from something. You're not going to escape to something.
1000%.
And then the sequel is Return From.
Is it really Return
Witch
From?
Mountain, yes.
Oh yeah, because they wouldn't be returning to.
It's a Return From Witch Mountain, which it's just very strange. Every time weird. I'm saying it, I'm like, Return to Witch Mountain. I'm like, oh, no, wait, it's Escape From, it's Escape to.
And what I said was it should be Escape From Blank Mansion.
Yes.
Whatever that guy's name is.
Yes, I forget the name too.
Yeah, me too. But
that's what they're escaping from.
We'll get there. Christina, 1975. So, I mean, really. I mean, do you remember the first time you saw this movie?
Well, I don't remember the first time, but I feel like this movie, I remember this movie, well, I thought I remembered this movie, but I remember this movie from my childhood so clearly because I felt like almost every week it was on The Wonderful World of Walt Disney. I felt like it was just one of those movies that they played all the time. But in reality, I probably watched it twice. But do you remember that? It was Sunday night, 7 o'clock, The Wonderful World of Walt Disney.
So, something interesting. Then I did feel like it was on TV a lot because I'm going to jump quickly to now, but I'm going to go right back to then.
Okay.
Those blue silhouettes in the opening credits, I was like, oh my god, I remember this so well, but I remember seeing it a lot. And so
it is a long opening.
That's true. That is very true.
As a child, you're probably like, is this thing ever going to start?
I know. And but I do think, it must have been on a lot. I don't recall, I mean, would have been 3 years old. I don't recall seeing it in a movie theater. But I do feel like I saw this movie a lot. I am shocked. Then. So then, I remember thinking how cool they were and wanting magic powers. I remember being a little confused why they wanted to leave the best house ever. But I liked it. I really liked this movie. I remember really loving it as a kid.
Yes. I remember the telepathic. I remember very clearly how she was able to speak to him telepathically, and he couldn't. I remember the conversation between the two of them, and he's like, I don't know why you can do it and I can't. And I thought that was really kind of cool. I remember just wanting to be her. I thought she was the coolest thing ever, and she had all these powers. I remember Winky, the cat, and I remember that room. A lot of it was sporadic memories of this thing, right? I remembered the room that they got to be in specifically the ice cream fountain area. Yeah. How it was basically, they had their own ice cream shop in their bedroom. Yeah. That is the best thing ever. Yeah. That's every kid's dream. Yeah. And I remember oh my gosh, they can have ice cream any time they want. And the other thing I remembered was the scene with the bear in the car.
Funny.
When they walked up and the bear was in the car.
Yeah.
But
I remember the horse stuff more than the bear stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't really remember much more of the bear stuff. I just remember them being being in the car. Yeah. And I remember not being afraid of it, that feeling.
Yes.
You knew it wasn't a scary thing. You kind of knew it was your friend.
Yeah, I think there's something back then. I think there's something refreshing of knowing that these kids are strong, and they have much more control than they may realize. yes, should we jump into now?
So yeah, let's dive into now. That sounds good to me.
So yeah, we're shallow dives only, as everyone knows.
Dives.
So now, when did you rewatch this?
I rewatched it a few days ago.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago because I kept hoping Emily would watch it with me.
Oh.
But she wanted nothing to do with it, so I'm like, okay, fine. So I ended up watching it a few days ago. Yeah, I was surprised at how much I forgot about this movie. I forgot a lot of the plot.
Okay.
Even throughout it, as I'm watching it, I'm like, did I ever watch this? Like from beginning to end?
Yeah.
It was probably one of those things where I'd watch it for like an hour and maybe, move on to something else, or maybe I just watched the same stuff over again. Although I do remember the end, so I don't know. I just didn't remember the plots as much as the special effects and the, like the Rome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it, and I kind of liked the fact that I didn't remember a lot of it because I was just so much more interested in like, where is this plot going and who are they? Like I still didn't I hadn't remembered like, what is their deal? What about you? What were your first impressions with it?
So I mean, really, it was like every minute was like a weird like. This is so cheesy. I'm gonna say it anyway. It was like a little weird like real flashback for me. Mm-hmm. I mean, 1975. But I mean, like I said, I didn't see it then. But it was like, I mean, I couldn't have been more than. I certainly wasn't more than 7 or 8 years old watching this thing. But like the blue silhouettes in the opening credits, the house like we talked about, the bully and the special effects that surrounded the bully. Like I was surprised how much I can't say remembered because if you said what were the opening credits like,
right?
No, but when you're seeing it, you're like, oh my god,
right? It's like you just remember, like you feel yes, you have an emotion attached to it, right?
You feel like Tia.
You do
because you're seeing these visions, and you're like, I remembered. But you're like, but I don't remember what happens next.
It's the vision. Oh my gosh, we're totally Tia. My dreams have come true.
It only took 40 years.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. So, okay. The just this is so stupid, and I know sometimes I pick on opening credits. Mm-hmm. How the hell are Kim Richards and this kid co-starring? They're like third and fourth billing. How does that happen?
Just I know. I think fifth billing.
Fifth billing.
I think it was fifth billing.
Donald Pleasance and who's the other guy? Ray.
I didn't even write them down. Eddie Albert? Wait.
Oh, Eddie Albert. Yeah, he's before them. Eddie Albert comes in the last like 10 minutes and he gives a higher billing than the kids. I call serious bullshit. That is not gosh. Right. They're the stars.
They are the stars, and they were like way
that
pushed
to me
back.
Means they weren't paid enough.
They probably weren't hardly paid at all.
Yeah.
They not only did they get like fifth billing, but they have starring, and then they have the list of the next 20 people, and they just happen to be like the top 2 on the list of like the 20. Like that screen is like a whole list of people, and they're the top 2 on that list.
Wait, really?
Yes. Because
really?
I'm like, where are they? Yes.
Oh my god. Well, clearly it pissed me enough. It pissed me off enough because it was my second note.
Yeah,
in this.
I was
like co-starring.
This was my first note. Fifth billing.
Yeah,
that's what I wrote.
Co-starring.
Crazy.
That to me blows my mind. They're in every scene, almost every scene of this movie is them. So, just some general notes. I mean, I was surprised how good the special effects were.
Yes.
1975?
For 75.
I only once did I see the string.
That's pretty cool.
And that was the harmonica through the jail cell. Otherwise, I was right there. I loved it.
The flying scenes were a bit sketch. The
flying,
But aside from the flying
the levitation of products and items.
Even him jumping. Like even jumping to catch the ball, and the glove on the kid's face. Yeah, all of that stuff that was done great for 75. Like this is real stuff. This isn't CGI. This is real props being manipulated. It was really, really great. And I don't think I must have had some sort of copy that was.
They're also fun. Like they're also like they're also fun. They're not like harmful
right.
to the bully. Like, even
right.
the bully, like, you know, they're not hurting him.
Right.
They're just...
I would have hurt him a little bit more.
Right. That would have been a temptation.
I do have one of my first notes is these two are totally believable as brother and sister.
1,000%.
That casting was amazing. And actually, Emily walked through and she's like, "Are they twins?" And I'm like, "No."
Well, even the camaraderie feels very sibling.
Yes.
You know, because there are moments where they do kind of like, you know, get frustrated with each other. Mm-hmm. You know, you can feel that, and it feels very sibling to me. Okay, so my first sort of negative note is a bit of dialogue.
Yes.
It's Tia. God bless her. Kim Richards, later to be a Real Housewife of Beverly Hills. She says, "There's a man. He mustn't get into that car." And I wrote, wow. Of all the ways that line could have been read, and you went that way.
So yeah, I do have a little note that just says actors need some help. Maybe that's why they were fifth billing.
Oh my
but yeah,
God.
they needed a little bit of help there. Yeah.
Laughed out loud, another quote. Laughed out loud, and this is intentionally funny. So the wealthy billionaire perhaps, he's, Christina, remind me. He's trying to get what? Like he wants to, be inspired for his next big acquisition or something?
Yes, so he has all sorts of
money and time.
Yes.
He doesn't know his next steps. Like, what's his next goal?
He needs advisement.
So one of the people he is getting advisement from is a guru. Mm-hmm. And it's completely funny because he's like, guru, and the guru says, "There are profound vibrations, sir." But it's shot, because it's the 70s, this is a general note I have with this movie. 70s are fucking scary.
Yes, they are.
You could isolate, oh my God,
Yep.
you could isolate certain scenes of this movie and have it be a true horror movie.
Brian, it's like that for even Disney cartoons.
Oh, really?
It's the same type of thing. It's like that.
It's like creepy. It's
like, dark and
almost like
looming,
and like the sound is almost like this. The sound is almost like echoey.
Yes,
and it feels like you're like, oh, anything could happen. This feels very raw to me.
Yes,
and I think that because there are little kids involved, I was like, this is creepy. Mm-hmm. But okay, so anyway, that line with the man, he mustn't get into that car, then the car is smashed to bits. I laughed out loud because Donald Pleasance's character says to the driver, because the driver is still in the car. Remember? So he says,
"This is part of the accident."
Yeah. So Tia has a vision.
Yes. Okay.
Truck smashes into the car, and like quite dramatically. The driver's still in the car, so Donald Pleasance says, "Are you all right?" I swear to God, the driver says, "Yeah." Like, this car is smashed. How is the driver okay in this?
I thought it was hilarious that she comes running across the street to warn this guy, "Don't get in the car. Something bad is going to happen. Don't get in the car." Says nothing to the driver of the car. like there are two people getting in the car.
But that's brought up later on.
Yes, it
because
is.
He says, "Well, you didn't warn the driver, but
Yes.
it's because you knew he'd be okay." And wow, he really was okay.
He was
like,
okay.
"Yeah, I'm good."
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Yeah.
Donald Pleasance is, I think, really miscast in this. He cannot help, even when he's trying to not be creepy.
Yeah, he can't help being creepy.
He is so creepy.
Well, it doesn't help that he shows up at a playground and was just lurking, and then approaches these two kids. Midlife lens. Same thing. Middle-aged lens. That would not happen today. Strange men are not allowed at schools.
And I'm telling you, the 70s, the way that is shot with the playground and the kids running, and then he just appears like that.
We've been jaded so much.
I wrote down, I was like, "Where's Michael Myers when you need him?"
Right? He is Michael Myers.
He is Michael Myers in this. Oh my God, that's so funny. That's so true.
He does the same stuff that Michael Myers did.
My next note is very large. Chris, can you see it from here?
Oh, yes. This is terrifying. It is.
There's one moment, and it's Tia is remembering something again.
Yeah, there were a lot of those same scenes of the remembering. Yeah,
I kept thinking, if you were clicking by this like through Disney Plus, oh my God, the dialogue is so disturbing because her brother's trying to help her, and he's like, "Tia, what is it?" I said, "It's dead quiet in this scene. There's tension and it's crazy. There's like the flashbacks. Then it's like she's seeing like a house, and then it's the house that they're in, and there's a map, and then it's like there's dogs barking in the distance, and they don't see the dogs. And it's like,
they can just
Tia,
hear
you're okay, but we hear the dogs, and it's like this is terrifying.
I don't know why I think back at this movie and not feel afraid.
Because I think maybe we were more resilient as kids.
Yeah.
And
or maybe we just felt like they were in control, like you said. Like they were always in control of their situation.
Because when we were younger, we admired these kids and their special powers. Now we're grown-ups and we're watching little children being terrorized. Right. And even though they have magic powers, it's such a heavy, layered, complicated thing that they find themselves in, where I'm like, these poor kids, they shouldn't have to be
right. And I think about this, and I think, they're orphans, they're sent to orphanages, and then this weird, strange man says he's his uncle, like all these things, and they're hearing things, and they're seeing things, and they have these weird powers they don't know about. I don't understand why I wasn't terrified back then,
right?
Because when I think about movies that did terrify me back then, it was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I think back at that. I swear to God, like I don't even think I want to watch it, even as an adult, because to me, the scene I remember from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is when they were kidnapped, and I just remember them being in this room and looking up at, like they were in a basement and looking up and seeing feet walking by the window. And it is so creepy to me. And I'm wondering if the reason why I don't feel terrified about this movie is because even though they were kind of kidnapped and held hostage, they never felt like they were. Like they always felt like they could get out of it. They're like, yeah, let's leave. Like it was never a question that they could just leave whenever they wanted to.
That they could just leave. And also that they had those powers. Yes. And they were always on the run.
So and they had each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, strength in numbers. I did write down, I wonder how many times Kim Richards was attacked by that cat. There were scenes, she's holding Winky a lot in this movie, and there are times where Winky's tail is flailing all around, and I was like, I don't know why. I also didn't know why they didn't just replace it with a stuffed animal. But it's really that cat.
It is that cat throughout the whole movie. And she's
really holding him tight. I'm like, I wonder if she was ever attacked by Winky.
And I was talking about graphics. The wink of the cat was like flawless.
Oh yeah,
it was so impressive.
Oh my God! And then we get to the billionaire guy. Didn't write down his name. So he says. Basically the scam is they know these kids have special powers. So this Donald Pleasance is going to pretend to be their uncle to get them from the orphanage and to bring them to the millionaire's or billionaire's house to sort of extract their powers.
It was 75.
Figure them out.
It was 1975. Yeah. Who was a millionaire? Let's get this straight.
Millionaire. Okay.
Yeah. This is 1975.
That's true. So he meets the millionaire meets the niece. Meets Tia and Tony. And this is the first thing he says.
Oh, no.
He's talking to Donald Pleasance's character and says, "You have a very beautiful niece." As he stares at Tia. And then he stares at Tony and says, "And a most attractive nephew." Like, he's 5, you pervert. These kids are 5. I don't care if it's the 70s.
All right, they're probably not 5, but I agree. They're not 5 years old. Those children?
They're not. I don't think they're 6 years. Isn't there a line?
You don't think there's...
Wait a minute. Isn't there a line in this movie that's like, they're not even 6 years old? Don't they say that?
All right. Have you ever met a 5-year-old,
Oh my God,
Brian?
Christina, don't do this.
I'm gonna look it up. I don't know. There's no way these kids are 5 years old.
Oh my God. I have some Coke Zero went down the wrong pipe.
All right. I'm looking it up. Hold on.
No, that wasn't an ad. I wish.
We should start
Coke Zero. I don't really drink this that often, but I don't need a little.
Well, I don't know if you're going to be sponsoring. I don't think they want someone coughing and choking on it. All right, what am I looking up? Oh, ages.
Ages. How old? Not the actors, the characters. I swear to God, there's a line in there. It's like, they're only 5 years old. Or they're not even 6 years old.
I think that they were that young when they were
brought to the orphanage.
All right, let me see. Oh, that's Beyond Witch. No, I don't want Beyond Witch. All right, just keep talking. Keep talking.
Well, fine.
Tony and Tia. Okay.
I did think this is a very minor note, but the Visa logo is shown in a bank, I guess, or some store or wherever. But it doesn't say Visa. It says Bank of America.
Oh,
so
funny.
Interesting little time stamp. Oh, God. Oh, God. All right. I actually wrote down, this guy is a horoscope-loving pervert. I actually wrote it down. Then there's so there are moments, though, where where the magic powers are, like, I know they're created for these, like, playful tangents, but even still, it's creepy. And I think it's because the kids are alone. But the puppet show, I'm sorry, like, that puppet show was a little creepy. Christina is still trying to.
I'm so sorry. I know it's like very impossible to get the ages of these kids.
How old do you think Tia was?
Well, now you know what they're saying, that Tony and Tia were twins, but that's not true.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of sources I have here.
Well.
Anyways,
so I guess we'll just, to save time, we'll just say that I'm right. So
you definitely are not right. They are not 5. Yes. Tony Malone is 13, and his sister Tia is 11.
Which movie?
Escape to Witch Mountain. Blam! It's on Disney. It's D23.com if anybody wants to. It's Disney A to Z. D23.com has the answer, and I am completely right.
Tony is 13.
Tony is 13. I believe it. They're older. They're not 5. Jesus. I swear, I really don't think you ever met a 5-year-old. All right, so you're going to have to repeat everything you said up until this point because I did not listen to anything you were saying.
The Visa logo was
yes.
Bank of America then. It's just an interesting little timestamp there. The puppet show, I said, so even there's moments.
The puppet show.
Even there's moments that are supposed to be like a break, I think, like for the audience, like a break. It's playful, it's fun. Like, let's use their magical powers to make a puppet show. Mm-hmm. And it's fine, but some of these puppets are like, I wrote down Pennywise and the Bride of Chucky. They are scary puppets. Like, puppets are kind of scary anyway.
Puppets are scary anyway, I agree. But they're very old-fashioned kind of puppets. And I think that in general, they are scary anyway, like those old-fashioned puppets. It reminds me of, in Mr. Rogers, right?
Oh.
When they had the puppets there. It reminds me of that style of puppet.
Miss Friday? What was her called?
Yeah, King Friday and...
What was the scary one?
Ruby Tuesday or something.
Ruby Tuesday.
I don't know. There was a Tuesday in there somewhere. But yeah, remember how weird and scary, like, all their faces
really were.
Are, yeah. It's the same type of idea, I think, back then. I think was sort of the norm.
Yeah. It's creepy when they're moving all around.
Very, very creepy. It was fun. Like, I didn't remember it before I saw the movie, but I did remember it, like, as I was watching it. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember this scene.
Yeah, I completely got it, but it was still like, a little creepy. Just,
yes.
You know. And also because, you know what, because the kid, like, they're liking it. And it's as you begin to wonder, like, the things that they like to do.
Well, it was
how they entertain themselves.
It was literally the first time you see them laughing.
True.
Or smiling.
Yeah.
Up until that point, they're 100% serious. All day, every day.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to see them actually laughing and having fun. And it's the first time we see them having any kind of joy, even though the things were kind of creepy. And then, at the end of that scene, what do you see? You see the guys looking at them.
And the monitors.
Yeah. Like, ugh. I was impressed with Tia. She was clearly the smart one. Like, she was the only one that was like Tony, stop. We need to keep this stuff secretive.
That's right.
Like, why do you keep doing this stuff? Like, stop.
With
They're
the
going to put us
bully
away.
and
Like, she knew. She's like, they're going to think we're weird and they're going to put us away. Like, she got that. And she was the younger one. She was 11.
Allegedly.
She was 11.
Allegedly.
According to Disney.com.
What do they know? So, at one point I just wrote, this my note is, this shit is dark. So, Eddie Albert enters the picture, and Tia just feels that she should share this information with him.
Of course.
This is Tia. Your wife died 3 months later, and you were so... Christina, and you were so sad you swore right then and there you'd never love anyone like that again. Thanks, Tia.
And you haven't.
Is that?
I think she says,
really?
and you never did, or something like that.
And
yeah.
You never did.
And you never have.
And you never will.
And you never will.
So it's like that took me by surprise.
Yes.
I certainly when I was a kid, I certainly missed that
one.
That little
for
note.
Sure.
But how sad for Eddie Albert's character.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him.
But you know what? He found some joy at the end. He has Winky.
He does have Winky.
No, he has Winky.
Holy shit, I wrote, Tia cocked the gun. That was a lot.
There was a lot. But and she didn't have to. She has these
Christina,
special powers.
1,000%. So my next note is, okay, great, you threaten them with a loaded, cocked gun. Why not just throw the sheriff off a cliff?
Right.
That was the weird thing. It's like, we already know you have the power to control bears and horses and all these things. This kid can jump over bushes and you can lift up.
No, go ahead.
Oh no. My whole thing was they're not these aren't as big of threats as we think.
Not only that.
Yeah.
She has the power to control people. Because remember at the dinner table with the millionaire, she was like, what'd she say? She said, she goes, Mr. Bolt, you're getting too excited. You should go right to bed. And he's like, yes, I am getting tired. And then she said to the other guy, you look tired too. And then he left. So that...
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, she has control over people. She could have told these guys, you don't want to do this anymore. You can go home.
She could have said, you don't want us to stay in this house.
You don't want us to stay.
Just let us go. Let us go back to the orphanage.
She had, and maybe it's just the fact that she was only 11.
Yeah, and couldn't strategize.
Didn't understand, the strength of her powers. And maybe she was... Because it seemed like they were getting stronger as they were going on throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Even they were saying that, that it was... she would see more of her memories and... of course, then they got the map from that cool star case. I remember that as a child. Having that slip. I remember feeling like I wanted to look at everything I had in my house to see if anything moved and there was any kind of any kind of hidden maps or codes or anything.
Oh my God. I remember that bag for sure. Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, she did. And she had that with her at all times. Mm-hmm. In every scene. Poor Kim Richards having to carry that thing around.
And the cat.
Well, he usually it was the boy that carried him, the cat. But I agree. Okay. She had it too. I'm saying most of the time.
Most of the time. Oh my God. Now I'm going to get to one of the scariest sequences in the whole movie.
Oh wait, one more quote that I just noticed from Bolt. Bolt is the millionaire guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I happen to notice it. You know what he says to her? Or to them? Anything in the world you ask for, I will bring you. Just never leave me.
Oh my God.
I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
I probably would have hung out a little bit longer.
Oh God. And then oh sorry, this is the funniest line in the whole thing.
Let's hear it.
So then they're hearing him talking about that, taking them away, the kids are hearing the millionaire, Bolt and whatever. And he looks to Tia, he goes, he's as nutty as a fruitcake. Reminded me of Pretty in Pink.
Yes. I think I would have hung out a little longer in that mansion. I would have given it more of a chance. Have some fun, kids.
I would have had some more ice cream.
You're going from a friggin' orphanage where there's a mean bully that picks on you every minute of your life. You're going to like a beautiful mansion with an ice cream machine, your own room.
Well, and they knew they could escape at any time.
I know, it's
like, what's
weird.
the rush?
I didn't understand. Like, she was having, like, figure out that dream you keep having before you go.
Yes, let's figure it out.
Maybe
they can help.
You have nowhere to go.
He has like so much money. Maybe he can help her.
Totally. They didn't. I guess it's a big no. They didn't really know how to strategize. They didn't know how to use their powers to get ahead.
Right.
So they just ran. Yeah.
Well, they certainly didn't remember how to use their powers when they were at the gate, and the dogs are chasing them, and they get to the gate and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And they eventually she was able to talk to the dogs, which was fine.
Yeah.
But do we not remember that they can jump
super
high, very high places?
Yeah.
So why couldn't they just jump over the goddamn
gate? I know. It was selective.
So much selective powers.
So let me talk about this most scary moment for me. The coat rack.
Oh, the coat rack.
The coat rack was so the kids, because this is a charming 70s Disney film, the kids get arrested and thrown in jail.
After they got kidnapped.
After being kidnapped.
And sent to an orphanage. And attacked by dogs. Oh, do we have everything? Was this before the bear attacked?
Oh, God. So they're in the jail cell, and they're trying to get out, and through the magic of their magic, the harmonica. So basically, there's a harmonica that gives Tony his special powers, and he can manipulate objects.
The poor thing.
It takes an awful lot of work for Tony to develop,
and she just has to think it.
That's all. That's
and he needs to play this harmonica. He has to play
harmonica to manipulate objects.
And is he the only one that can hear this harmonica? Because I thought it was funny that he's playing this harmonica, and the police officer doesn't even notice that there's a harmonica playing.
Nope. And it's supposed to be cute, sure. But what makes it all the more terrifying is that the coat rack is just flying all around, really spastically. But then this is where Tia gets a little scary. Mm-hmm. So she's walking through the room. Do you know?
Yeah.
And she stops at the door. She turns the doorknob and looks back at the melee of this coat rack attacking a police officer. The police officer has pulled a chair on top of him to block him from this psycho abusive coat rack. Mm-hmm. And Tia's watching it, and then she giggles. Yeah. And then there's a pause, and then she giggles again, only louder. And I'm like, oh my God, she is a witch. That was the only time where I was like, this is sick. This is a little weird. She's
so just imagine the scene if it had fun music behind it.
Yeah.
Fun, happy music. It would have been a 100% different kind of scene.
Sure.
It would have been a fun kind of scene. And it would have served the same purpose. It still would have allowed them to escape. And she still could have giggled. Because it would have been funny to see this funny thing. It would almost be like dancing.
True. But I think it falls into that 70s thing.
Yeah.
It's really, there's a lot of extreme close-ups and and they kept cutting to almost the coat rack's point of view, where we're abusing.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
We're abusing the police officer. It's very strange.
Well, I also feel in the 70s, because it probably took a lot of work to make this coat rack come to life. Mm-hmm. I feel like they really wanted to do as much as they can for as long as they can with that graphic.
Yeah.
So it makes the scenes longer, and it makes it more terrifying, because it just seems at this point it just keeps going after him.
It's gratuitous.
And after he comes back and goes back and goes back and goes back. I mean, that's over and over and over again. It's crazy scary.
Yeah.
If it was just once or twice and then they left, it would have been kind of cute and funny, especially if it had the funny music.
What's also crazy, because it is scary, is that it's actually it's basically attacking the villain of that moment, and yet it's still scary. Yeah. That's what's so weird about it for me. I'm this coat rack is done very well. I mean, I wouldn't have been scary if it was poorly done.
Right.
So the special effects are there, but it is so interesting that I'm the scariest moment is the cop being abused by this coat rack. It's so weird.
It is. It is.
Okay, so then the sheriff is trying to explain to the townspeople, which are weirdly all men,
and they all have rifles. It's like a literal witch hunt.
It is.
It's like a literal witch hunt.
And he's explaining to them how dangerous these witch children are.
These 2 little children.
2 little children. And one I wrote down a Muppet-like man steps forward, and I wrote down, steps forward in an inspired bit of acting, says, "Hey, Sheriff, what you gonna do? Chase him all the way to Witch Mountain or what?" Like, what town is he living in?
Oh my God.
It was the acting for only one line of dialogue. Wow, that is some bad acting.
He was like really trying to
you
go
remember
for
him,
it.
correct?
I do.
Yeah.
That scene reminded me. And have you seen Monty Python's Search for the Holy Grail?
No.
Oh God. All right, so you're not going to get it. But there's a whole scene where Monty Python, how goofy they are, and it's just they have like this whole town people. They want to hang a witch.
Okay.
And they're just like, it's a witch, it's a witch, it's a witch, hang it. It was just like this crazy scene.
Yeah.
And completely over exaggerated. And that scene in Return to Witch Mountain. See, I almost had to Escape. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Escape 2.
I'm never gonna get the title right. That scene reminded me so much of the Monty Python scene when the like witch hunting. Mm-hmm. It was hilarious.
It was so funny. I mean, like, really, like, and that's when the terror sort of subsided for me.
Yes.
But I did think it was interesting that they kept saying, like, they're witches, and they're probably going to Witch Mountain. And when you later realize that they're actually aliens,
mm-hmm.
I appreciated that. Because it's like, there is a, like, you fear what you don't understand.
Right.
And I thought that was, like, really smart of the movie. Because they could have just as easily said, oh my God, they're crazy aliens from outer space. They could have been right.
Right.
But I like that there was that little bit of like, oh no, they're actually wrong. They don't understand and they're just hating. Meaning they're hating witches and they're hating aliens.
Right.
And they're just getting it wrong. And, but I liked the confusion that their go-to was like, oh, they're witches.
They're a witch.
Yeah,
you're a witch. You're a witch.
Oh my God, the van levitating was so bad. How do you get so many special effects right? In the van,
it was terrible. That's what I mean. Anything in the sky was like terrible.
It looked like
the flour. The bag of flour that they threw.
Oh,
terrible.
God.
Like those few like scenes, they were all basically in the same area of the movie.
Well, but here's the funny thing: the upside down helicopter was crazy. I loved it.
Can I just say something more about that mob scene?
Yeah.
The one thing that the guy he's like, they're all like crazy, 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 and then one guy goes, "We need more ammunition."
Oh my God! And they really made the townspeople as dumb as stumps.
Seriously,
that was a choice.
And the other thing was, there's 2 more notes I want to mention here. Actually, it was funny. I wrote, they arrest the children. Does anyone care that they are children? But no, there's when they went to fill the camper with gas, they filled it up. It was $10 to fill the camper up, and then the Jason, who I love, Jason O'Day. He was the guy that saves them, basically. The guy that
Jason.
Jason O'Day is his name.
Sorry, the character's name. Yeah.
He says, "I wonder how I'd handle you kids if you were mine." He knew him about a day and a half at that point. And he's already considering adopting these 2 children.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yes, go back. So back to the flying, levitating.
Oh, so that was so bad, but at the same time, like the upside down helicopter was, I think, really well done.
It was. I think. I don't know if it was well done, but I think compared to everything we've been seeing, I was like, oh wow, that looks pretty good.
The van flying, quote unquote flying, it was truly the equivalent of like, remember Color Forms?
Oh my gosh, totally.
Like, it was just like...
That's exactly what it was.
It was so stationary on this like canvas. I might as well have been watching like a color form on a board.
Yep.
Like, it was so
That's how the bag of flour was
as
well.
Yes, it was so bad. I feel like they were going for like 3D, and then in post-production they were like, nah.
Yeah.
And someone was like, do you know this is going to look really stupid now because it's not 3D? But then the upside-down helicopter, they landed the upside-down helicopter. I thought that was done really well.
I did
don't know, but I mean, yeah, the van was so bad.
The van was awful.
What do you say we take a little break?
Yes, I think that's a good idea. Let's take a break and we'll come
we'll
back.
Be back with more Escape to Witch Mountain.
Hey there, it's Brian and Christina. We just wanted to take this break to thank you for listening to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pulp culture through a middle-aged lens. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And give us a rating or review while you're there.
And if you have any questions, comments, or observations, shoot us an email at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Old Roommates. Thanks for listening, and now, back to the show.
And we're back talking about Escape to Witch Mountain. I finally got it right.
Very good.
I tried. It only took us an hour. I only have a couple more notes, which is like kind of funny. I have the bear is a really good actor. I was impressed.
You know what though? I almost feel like he was almost too nice. I think he was too trained. He was too well behaved.
He was supposed to be because he was a nice...
Under the spell of Tia.
He was under the spell. Yeah, well, he was just doing what Tia wanted.
Right, not the spell, because she's not a witch.
Yeah, she's not a witch. Get it straight.
I will say
You're just like the mobsters.
Her thinking face, Tia's like remembering face, is quite good. Yes. I think it's very effective.
Yes, I agree. You can
definitely tell.
You
said you had to definitely tell what?
You can definitely tell when she's remembering. Well, and Tony could totally tell. He immediately was like, you're remembering something, Tia. You're remembering something. Sorry, Tony is not the smartest bulb on the tree.
No, he is not.
Yeah.
The brightest bulb on the tree, yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, Jesus. It's been a long day. So, the other note, so I did say that the camper in the sky was very Mary Poppins-ish. Did it kind of remind you of Mary Poppins?
I have to be honest, I almost think that's an insult to Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
That is some really shitty special effects.
Yeah, it was
that
really
van
shitty.
in the
It
sky.
was really shitty.
Yeah.
And it went on for way too long.
It truly, you know what it is? It truly, my friend Ben was just talking about Jaws 3D. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
And how bad the 3D was. And it looks like that. It looks like they were planning on doing some sort of 3D effect, and then they decided not to.
Yeah.
So you really have this like very still image floating, quote unquote, on a very still background, and it looks so so fake.
Yeah, it looked really bad. And then the other thing was that last chase scene, there was no music. So I do think, again, the music director should be fired right away.
Yeah.
He just made odd choices, odd music choices, and like chose not to put music in when they really should have put music in.
Yeah.
So
it reminded me, again, another 70s reference, Charlie's Angels. Remember we talked about the car chases in Charlie's Angels season 1? And they're very raw. It's that 70s thing. Maybe this is the thing. I mean, this is why...
It's the inception of, like, all of these special effects. Maybe it was just they didn't have the means to do it.
Well, I think... Maybe they just thought it was exciting enough. And as we know, in the year 2021, it's never exciting enough.
Never.
Add all, like, special effects,
too much is never enough.
That's right.
Too much is never enough.
We are hungry. We are sensory deprived. We need sensory overload. Yeah. And I think in the 70s it was just much simpler. And I have to be honest, and it is a little more raw and chilling.
Yes.
In some of these things, especially
the
in
mansion scenes.
This movie. I will say, cool spaceship. I thought the spaceship was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, the spaceship was great.
I'll tell you, so I don't know, and I didn't look it up, and I should have. The flashback of the spaceship breaking, like missing. So basically, essentially, the spaceship missed the mountain and crashed into the ocean.
Yes.
But that does not look like Tia in that flashback.
No, I think they're younger. I think they're younger kids.
Would you say about 5?
I would say probably about 3 to 5. Yes, 3 to 5. Yes, because it is very grainy, so it's hard to see. But they're definitely younger because they had been on Earth for a few years.
True. Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking about 5.
No, you weren't. You just have never seen a 5-year-old child before, and you think that a teenager is the same age as a 5-year-old, is what you think. So, please do me a favor and just don't go near any children, okay? You'll be like Mr. What's-His-Face at the playground.
Oh my god. So, speaking of creepy adults, I am so sorry to say, but Uncle Benet, ooh, and again, I blame it on the 70s. When he emerges from the woods, Christina, and look what I wrote under Uncle Benet. Read it out loud.
Where is it?
If you can read my writing. Uncle Benet.
Uncle Benet, where is it?
Oh, 3/4 down.
Was so creepy coming out of the woods with no music. Again, with no music.
I'm telling you, and that's a 70s thing where, I am sorry, my middle-age lens, I see an old man with open arms coming out of the woods, I am running. Because Tia barely remembers.
Yeah, nobody remembers.
So you're just an old man.
He's just this weird old man. And it was cute. It was kind of nice that he hadn't died. I mean, that was nice.
God.
But he reminded me of somebody. Did he remind you of anybody? Because I couldn't put my finger on it. Maybe like the Waltons or something.
Oh.
Did he remind you of somebody?
Oh my God! What's it?
Was he the grandfather?
I know what you're talking about. It's almost like a country western actor.
Yeah, some country western,
but in like
kind
a
of old.
Yeah.
I don't know what actor.
God.
Anyway, it's not the same actor.
Very creepy. Totally it's not him. It's not him. But that is That is a creepy shot.
That was creepy.
It just doesn't. And I'm telling you, like, there's several notes from like, this is creepy. This is weird. This is creepy.
And here's the other thing. Yeah. Like, do you think it's weird that all of these people were all men?
Right.
Isn't that weird? It just occurred to me. I mean, the orphanage woman.
Who cast this movie to have the two main sort of quote unquote villains be older bald men? That's a creepy visual.
It is a creepy visual.
And maybe it's maybe back then for a kid like bald men were scary or considered.
Well, tell that to Daddy Warbucks.
Oh yeah, well it's 80s, 1980. 5 years
Little
later.
Orphan Annie's been around for a lot longer than the 1980s. That's right.
No, I'm saying the movie, Christina. Oh my God.
It's been a long day.
Oh my God, I need a nap. How is that? So more?
How is that?
More, less, about the same? Any more notes?
I enjoyed it, I think, more because I remembered more about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was a really nice revisit for me because it really brought me back. I mean, it was definitely like the nostalgia of it. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. And I just liked just revisiting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I liked it more.
It's like the Tia complex. It is. It's like because you're remembering, you're piecing it together as you're living it. Yeah. Yes.
And, what was I just going to say? Oh, and it's actually better than I expected it to be. It was actually better than what I expected because when I was, gearing up for it, I'm like, this is going to be really hokey and really bad. And
Same.
That was really what I was expecting. And it was better, way better than I expected it to be.
Same. I was expecting, I'm going to be laughing through the whole thing. I feel like this isn't even fair to do to a movie like this old, and like a kid's movie. Mm-hmm. Like, Kim Richards is in it, and just like it had a lot of in my middle-aged lens, I was very prejudiced about this experience.
Well, I even said it to Emily, we can make fun of it.
Yeah. And instead, I was like, wow, this is effectively creepy. The special effects are good. Most of the acting is fine. And I was totally invested in this thing.
So did you like it better? The same?
I know, that's the funny thing. I liked it better. Yeah.
It's kind of funny to say that, right?
Yeah.
Because
it's not, it doesn't really feel very adult at the end of the day.
Oh, no, it's definitely a kid's movie.
It's because it's 70s, it has that added layer. So cool. Questions. Should I go first? Or
I have a multiple choice, and what do you have?
I have a true match game question.
You're really good with these true match game questions.
I know, because I try and think of them as I'm watching the movie.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go first?
I'll go first, sure. Okay. Tia, I mean, she really has a way with animals. And, getting them to do...
You're making it sound very perverted the way you're saying that.
Getting them to do what she wants.
Okay. Yes.
And, but she really does have a way with them. And she, in fact, she once managed... This is not in the movie, but she actually once managed to get a massage from a blank.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Was it a good massage? That's the question.
Should I put some context around it, or just add the type of massage?
No. It's okay. Well, I'm just going to say that my first thought.
Ding.
Okay.
Tia really has the way with animals. She once managed to get a massage from a blank.
This is a really stupid answer. Porcupine.
Oh, like acupuncture?
Sure.
I put octopus.
Oh, that's a
oh my
good
god,
answer.
to be massaged like all over
that's so
at
good.
the same time.
Well, I was thinking about what would normally, what you wouldn't normally get a massage.
Oh, Christine, that's so wise.
That's sort of what I was
That
thinking.
is so wise. It's like, meaning she's so persuasive in her mind.
Like she was able to get
the porcupine was gentle with her.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
actually,
so good.
Yeah, I was thinking. But I like yours better. Yours is better, the octopus. I like that. All right, so I have a question for you. It's just a regular question. It's a multiple choice question.
Let's hear
Brian.
It. Yes.
If you had the choice to have one of the following powers that Tony and or Tia had, which would you choose to have?
God, I'm excited.
Okay?
Yeah.
Number 1, make things move just by merely playing a harmonica.
All right.
2, talk to Carl without speaking. Or 3, did I say A, 2, 3? I think I did. Or 3, or C, talk to animals telepathically and help make them do things that you want them to do.
So 1, 2, or 3.
A, 2, or C.
All right. I already know.
I think I know. All right, what was your guess?
So,
what was your answer?
My preferred superpower, I would love to do 3.
3? Oh, animals. I almost said that. I almost said it because I know you love animals, and it would be great if you wanted to sleep later and
well, so
or feed yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah, or even just if I'm out in public, I'm the kind of person if I see a dog, even if they're tied up on it to outside a store or something, I could say hey, is your owner coming back soon?
Well, would they know that though? They don't know where the owners are going.
Well, what if they were actually, I've been dog
are you safe?
Are you safe? Do you feel safe?
Do you need
How
food?
can I help you?
Although if you asked a dog that, he'd always
say yes. Yeah.
No, that's a good answer. I kind of changed my answer. I think I would have said that to you. But my answer would originally was to talk to Carl without speaking. Because I could see it being mostly in a social situation.
Let's get out of here.
You're ready to go, or pretend you're sick, or stop doing that in public.
That's really funny. I feel like we're really good with that. Where we'll just be
you
should
don't
we
even
going? I think with our circle, especially, we're just
true.
Should we go? And should we go? I think we might go. Just say it out loud. But I think to talk to Carl telepathically, I don't know.
No, I think you're right with the answer. Your animal answer.
Yeah, is that how you would answer if it was Matt?
I think I would choose the animal one too.
I think you have pets. I don't even have my cat anymore. You have a lot of animals.
Well, I have my dog
too.
and my cat.
And I think even as a
and fish.
Yeah, and even in your work with nature.
Oh my god, that's true.
Yeah.
I work in a science center.
Yeah,
to be able to talk to all of my animals, and that's true.
That'd be cool.
And even the animals in my backyard, we have rabbits that live under my shed right now.
Oh, cute.
A family of
God,
rabbits.
I hope.
Paisley's too slow because we'll open the door and she'll be at the top of the stairs, and the rabbits can hear the door open, so they already know that she's coming out. And she's she's just very slow. She was actually in the backyard the other day, and I had opened the door, and the rabbits were on the other side of the yard, And they were basically like coexisting for like a few minutes.
Oh.
Only because Paisley hadn't seen the rabbit.
Oh.
And I was like watching and I'm like, ooh, how is he ever going to get to the shed? Because Paisley was basically in the middle, like, you know, kind of unknowingly blocking the way. And that rabbit is so damn fast. It like went flying and just like went right under, and before even like Paisley noticed at the last second. So the rabbits are safe, trust me.
Oh, we have rabbits all over our neighborhood. This neighborhood.
Yeah, it's bad this year. It's like there's a lot of rabbits this year.
Well, that's it. Escape Torch Mountain is available on Disney Plus.
It is, yeah, and at the library.
Good stuff. And that is it for us and for this episode of Old Roommates. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And give us a rating or a review while you're there, please.
If you have an idea for the show or a suggestion or comment, you can email us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Old Roommates. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
Thanks again for listening. Until next time.